I'm Matt Fox from Heart of Dad. And this week I was asked, what is Heart of Dad about? What's behind it? And of course, if you know Heart of Dad, it's a podcast for entrepreneur dads and senior leaders who want to be more present in their children's lives, their family lives, while also wanting to create a massive impact in their life. And when I was explaining this a little bit this week, the question was, well, what does that actually mean in practice? And I put it this way. As a dad, there are times when you probably have an amazing experience of being a father, where you feel immensely connected to your child or children. You feel overflowing with love. You feel blessed and in wonder of this person or these people that have come into your life and fill it with so many things, good and challenging. And on those days, life feels easy and abundant and blessed and opening up into all sorts of possibilities. And then there are other days where it really does not feel like that at all. It feels like a chore, like life is incredibly hard work. It's full of conflict. It's full of disagreement, power struggles. It's full of frustrations and wrong turnings. It feels like you can't get your own way. It feels like you can't get things done that you want to. You maybe feel limited, thwarted, even frustrated, stuck, alone, misunderstood, not respected. It feels like an uphill struggle. And maybe along with those feelings, there is a ton of judgment. I shouldn't be feeling this way. I should be feeling more joy about being a dad or an entrepreneur and a leader. I should be feeling this should be easier. When I look around at other dads and their lives, they seem to be just so much more at ease in this than I am. And maybe there's shame attached to that. Well, why do I feel so grumpy or annoyed or out of sorts or not really enjoying myself in some of this family time? I'd much rather be doing X or Y or whatever it is. And you beat yourself up for that. You feel terrible guilt and remorse for those times when you feel snappy and out of sorts and disconnected. Well, Heart of Dad, first and foremost, is a place to be really real about that. If you listen to any of the podcast conversations, you'll just hear dads showing up and being really honest about the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations of being a dad. But I want it to be more than that. I don't want it just to be a place of honoring all experience, though I think that's incredibly important. I also want it to be a place where transformation can be experienced, where you can go from being that person where the balance is perhaps tipped more towards the difficult, unpleasant, oppressive kind of experiences towards the ones where you feel more connection and joy. Because I know that from my own experience, when I'm in that place of connection and joy, life feels like a blessing in every moment. And my child in my life feels like a blessing, and my partner feels like a blessing. And to be alive feels a blessing. And to be connected with anybody in the world feels a blessing. And life hasn't always been like that for me. There have been times when I've been really caught up in my head. I've experienced anxiety and I've experienced depression. I got very close to burnout several times in my life. And I've been a workaholic. I've really driven myself incredibly hard at times to be very, very goal-oriented. And I was very intolerant of times in myself when I felt exhausted or disconnected or just plain bored or kind of a little bit out for the count in terms of my family life as well as my relationship with myself. But I've also been through an experience of enormous change over the last few years where I've seen much more about the nature of how my experience is created, my own part that I play in that, and how many of the stories that I tell myself are really just that. They're stories. They're just made up in the moment. And I've also been exploring more deeply who I truly am at the source, who I truly am. And the more I go into that space, the more I explore who I truly am and where my experience is coming from, the more I'm able to ride the waves of change and challenge and joy with greater equanimity, with less narrative attached, with less worry about what should and shouldn't be happening. And I've been saying how, the whole of our life is created right now, in this moment, not tomorrow, not next year, not in 5 years or 10 years time. And how much of my life I've spent thinking either about tomorrow or next year or 5 years time or 10 years time, or back in the past about all the things that have happened to me, some of the difficult things in my life, some of the challenges, as well as some of the joyful times. So Heart of Dad is really about creating a space where dads can show up with all that stuff and be welcome with it, because nobody who's involved with Heart of Dad would not recognize that experience at least some of the time, and maybe a lot of the time in their lives. So I want that to be part of the experience, but also supporting dads towards this hope for transformation, hope for the possibility of a better relationship with themselves, a better relationship with their kids, a better relationship with their partners, a better relationship with their friends and families. All that is on offer, so you can live your best life right now. Not tomorrow, not in 5 years' time, not in 10 years' time, but right now. So I really hope to have more dads join the movement. You can find out more by messaging me, or check out www.heartofdad.com, or find me on Facebook at Facebook.com/groups/Heart of Dad. And it'll be great to have you join us. And if something resonated in this video, I'd love to hear. What things are true for you? What's challenging? What's easy? What would you like more of? What would you like less of? It'd be great to have a conversation. All right. Thanks for listening. Speak to you again. Bye.